Center for Veterans is now open right here in the borough. News 12's Brittany Cadet has more on what you can find at the facility in Crotona Park.
Well, there are a ton of different services that will be offered here and events, but this location here in particular in the Bronx is to help veterans learn more about the resources serving as a hub for the community.
Other organizations, we get lost, the veterans' causes get lost in the fray. He thinks about the veteran. Okay, it's just not, like going out to the park or going to a picnic or anything to that effect. It's the intangibles.
Gonzalo Duran is the CEO of Devil Dog Incorporated and has made it his mission to help veterans like himself navigate the system. This is one of the 2 locations that have been opened up by Duran, and he says he just wants to keep helping veterans and the people in his community. Here at this location, veterans can come and get some guidance as well as participate in some events.
So we have recreational programs, civic engagement. We do media, so we have a vet talk show. When I say we have a golf program. We have lots of things going on here. Now these 2 facilities are going to be used to allow organizations to come in for free, to congregate. Our other office can carry about 250 people, and this one, once again, can carry about 25 comfortably.
Like I said before, this is one of 2 locations here in the Bronx, and this is not only serving as a hub for just veterans, but also for community members to interact with those that are here in their neighborhood. That's the latest here from Crotona Park East. I'm Brittany Cadet, News 12.
Hello, everyone. This is Vet Talk, and I'm your host, Sergeant Gonzalo Duran. I'd like to start off by saying thank you to our executive producers, JM Empire Media and Vero G Productions. Today's episode is sponsored by the Chaplains Workers Federation, and today's honored guest is Ibrahim Siddiq from Exalt. Thank you, Ibrahim, for being here today.
Thank you for having me.
Now, to start off, can you explain what is Exalt?
Yes, Exalt is an alternative to incarceration program. It's a 4-month internship program where we work with court-involved youth. They're entered into this program. The first 6 weeks is to build work experience to get them prepared for the world of work, learning about different skills, communication, creative thinking, creative problem solving, creative problem solving, and resource management. And then these are prepared to enter into the world of work. After that, we place them into a 2-month internship program where they're able to build more on that experience. And then afterwards, they have a 2-week post where they graduate from the program and enter into an alumni program. So when the youth graduate, they're not done with the program, but they kind of graduate into this alumni where it's more resources to help them further their goals, help with their schooling, criminal justice cases, or any other thing that they may be interested in.
And when you say youth, what's the age range?
The age range is typically 15 to 19 years old. We do have some youth that are 14, about to turn 15, or maybe youth that were 19 going to turn 20 while they're in the program. So it's a bit of a leeway, but typically 15 to 19-year-olds are the demographic that we work with.
Now, in this capacity, what's the general, I'm assuming you guys take numbers on the statistics, what happened after these youth finish the program?
Yes. We have a 95% non-recidivism rate. That means 95% of the youth that graduate from this program go on and are not arrested 2 years out after this program is graduated, after they graduate from this program.
And that's a huge number right there.
Absolutely.
Now, I've been fortunate that Devil Dog USA has been a site location for the youth to participate in. Do you have any other organizations that you want to mention or highlight?
Well, we work with various organizations. We work with the organization Bronx Bound Books that offers literacy programs to youth in the Bronx. We have very prestigious internships like the Innocence Project. So there's a wide range from everything from arts, entertainment, finance, real estate. We have a wide array, and we're continuously building new internship partners to kind of offer more experiences for the youth.
And if the internship partners wanted to reach you, how would they go about doing that?
Yes, they can reach on our website, Exalt Youth, exalt.org, or they can reach out to myself, Ibrahim Siddiq at exaltyouth.org. And yeah, feel free to reach out to myself, or on our website we have a contact. They can reach out to any one of our staff that will be able to connect them with our internship liaison, who Murillo Adams is our internship liaison. So he finalizes all those various connections that we bring to him.
Is there any type of specific organization that you would like to work with or have worked with?
Well, we look to work with any organization that sort of aligns with our views, that want to offer opportunities for our youth. You know, a lot of times, I know as myself, when I was in this position, I was an at-risk youth. A lot of the things that I got into was because I didn't have any positive outlets. So we're always looking to connect with any organization that's willing to offer our youth like actual real-world work experience.
And Devil Dog USA is a nonprofit. Is it only nonprofits that you guys?
No, we work with for-profit, nonprofit organizations, anything that can be beneficial to our youth in any way. So we have youth that work at restaurants and that are interested in culinary. You know, we have for-profit realtor organizations that we are partnered with. So it's an array of partners.
That's beautiful. And I didn't even know that, but beforehand. Now, you touched a little bit about your past situation.
Yes.
Would you mind going into some of it, like how your journey came into Exalt, like maybe how that reflects?
Yeah, absolutely. So I've been involved in the criminal justice system since I was 12 years old. There was it's a sort of a thing that's for youth that before they're old enough to be put on probation. It's called a PINS petition. So that was my first kind of contact with the criminal justice system. 14, I caught a gun charge. And my most serious charge was at 18 years old, assault in the first, assault in the second, and possession of a weapon. A lot of these things, like I said, came from not having any positive outlets, just growing up in the neighborhood that I grew up in. And it wasn't until I found art. I kind of stumbled my way into art and realized that I can use this art as a vehicle for activism and social change. That kind of led me to a professor in college. I took a class called Art, Activism, and Social Change was the actual class, and she kind of opened my mind to this book. It's called Pedagogy of the Oppressed by Paulo Freire, and this book kind of opened my mind, helped me evolve, and took me from where I was to where I am today. And I say that because that is what kind of attracted me to Exalt. I was out of teaching for about 2-3 years, kind of missing just being in the classroom. I was looking for different organizations to partner with and possibly come on board. Exalt was one of the organizations that came across just my radar, and learning about this organization, I found that their curriculum is based on this book, Pedagogy of the Oppressed, that the book that revolutionized my way of thinking and changed my whole way of life. And that's what initially drew me to Exalt. And I found out that their entire curriculum is based on the principles within this book, and that's kind of what drew me to accept the job offer from Exalt.
Thank you for sharing that.
Absolutely.
I appreciate that. A lot of Vet Talk, what we try to do is do a lot of journalism so that people can understand, trying to break the stigmatism, with mental health and other things.
Absolutely.
Incarceration is another dilemma that people try to avoid talking about too much. So once again, thank you for opening up on that.
Absolutely.
Now, an organization like Exalt, I don't know how long they've been in operation, but if you would have came across that during your earlier in your life, do you think that would have been a different aspect to it?
Yeah, absolutely. It's funny. Exalt was started in 2006. My charge was in 2005. So, but it actually did my case went on for 2 years, so it would have been within that Exalt. And I tell my youth, I tell the kids that come through my class, I wish I had a program like Exalt when I was going, because I kind of had to stumble my way and figure these things out. But Exalt is kind of like designed this program where we, give the youth the tools to navigate through the pitfalls of society. And I wish I had that without having to learning through trial and error. I actually had a supportive organization, and not only do we help these youth combat the criminal justice system, we're also fighting the cycle of poverty, where we pay the youth to be in this program more than the current minimum wages. We pay them $18 an hour. When they go into the alumni program, they're paid $20 an hour. So a lot of times that is youth come from impoverished, situations and looking for a means to just kind of move around and end up getting into the wrong things for money. So youth Exalt is trying to combat that as well. So I think that's a great thing that they're doing.
Yeah, and then once again, I bring that up to them when they come in. I'm like, you're getting paid when there's somebody else out there, so
Exactly.
work a little harder.
Yeah.
Now,
Exactly.
I've been fortunate that for our organization, having the youth come in to see media studio stuff, accompany me with going to like meetings where the mayor might be or a commissioner of some city agency, but at the same time, they're putting hands-on experience with helping community members. The last cycle for me, they helped with distributing toys for kids in during Christmas, sitting with veterans during the Thanksgiving dinner so they can interact with the, with the veterans. And then what was another thing? Coat drive. They helped sort them and then give them out. And I like to think that their improvement into the community doesn't just start by being forced to do it by work, but also building that understanding that this is something you can do on your own time.
Absolutely.
So I've only have great things to say about Exalt. Also, the work that you guys are doing. Now, the young participants, are they only being filtered in one way? Like, is there maybe somebody who may not have heard of the program, who's in the youth, that would say, hey, maybe do I qualify for this?
We have referral partners. So most of our youth are referred to us either by probation officers, judges, DAs, community members, social workers, and now a lot of our youth are starting to be referred to by youth that have graduated from the program or are currently in the program. They recognize the opportunity within that, and they want to get all their friends within the program. So it comes from everywhere where we get youth, and we're always still trying to get the word out. If anyone knows of youth that might benefit from this program, feel free to reach out to us, and we can get them enrolled.
And once again, the website for that too,
exaltyouth.org.
And would it be a different section for them for the youth to apply for or get some information on?
No, it is well, there's a referral section.
Okay, the referral
section. And I should check if it's Exalt Youth or Exalt. I should probably know that. But yeah.
But one of the things that I could say right now, I would like to do, maybe I can try to speak to some of the students and get some journalism in there, some articles built up if they want to, share their story as well.
Absolutely, yeah. I think that a lot of these youth have amazing stories that could benefit others from just hearing, and recognizing that other people share their experience and have found opportunities to kind of grow out of those things that they've been subjected to.
Now, with the work that you've been doing, is there something that you would like to see happen in the future, maybe future project or anything?
Well, Exalt is in the process of currently expanding, right? We only currently serve within the 5 boroughs, and kind of expanding throughout New York City and hopefully on a national level or international level eventually. So I've worked for many different programs. I've been in education since I was 18 years old, and I feel like Exalt is the best program that I've come across as far as hitting every mark that these youth need. And I'm very excited about just seeing Exalt expand in the future as far as that project goes. I'm looking forward to being able to us be able to serve youth in other areas, either whether it be in the larger New York area or outside of the state.
And just to be clear, for the viewers that may not have heard that, all 5 boroughs, all New York City, have an opportunity for this program.
Absolutely.
And since I've spoken to these youth participants for almost, I think I've done over a year so far.
Yes.
With the organization, they're getting multi-million-dollar education right there, and then they're getting paid to work in these programs like Bronx Bound Books. I know them; it's an incredible organization. I don't want to boast about myself either, but these opportunities, and I don't know everybody's resume, but for someone like myself, besides being a veteran for 11 years, so they're getting 11 years worth of experience working hand in hand with somebody, and other, my other parts of my resume. So for me, I'm like, I wish I would have had something like that when I was growing up.
Absolutely.
One of the business things, I was sitting there one time with one of the participants, and I was like, you did a real legitimate interview with somebody for a job opportunity. So everything you go through now is going to be easy.
Yeah.
It's going to be cakewalk.
Exactly.
Yeah. So I don't know how much more, like, let's say any organization besides donations or becoming a site location. If I can, I'd like to do a little bit more for the youth, maybe, and try to get a suit drive for them, or try to get maybe say like a recreational, or let's just say a youth fair started, and then try to get more organizations put in one room and say, boom, here you go.
Yeah, that would be amazing. That would be amazing.
Well, besides the stuff that's going on with Exalt, do you have anything that you're working on? Because you said artists.
Yes,
Artists can mean a lot of things.
Yeah.
So.
Well, I'm typically I started out with poetry, spoken word, and I've kind of, in the past few years, I've stepped away from more so performing and then creating spaces for our youth. So I run a program out of the Bronx at El Fogón Art Center, 989 Home Street. We do many events there, from open mics, different showcases, game nights, different writing workshops, know your rights workshops, and a project that I'm looking forward to. The owners of El Fogón just gave us an in-kind donation of a building that they own right next door to the facility, and we're going to be turning that into sort of a creative community art hub where people from the community can come. It's going to be a music studio, photography studio, podcasting. So if anyone wanted to come and create at this space, they would be able to do so.
That's beautiful.
Yeah.
Now, one key thing that you mentioned was, this is an expansion of that program right there.
Yes.
And you just gave us all the information, which once again it's an incredible highlight. Where do you want to see that one going towards?
Eventually, I want to, so the space that they gave us is a small space. It was formerly a print and copy shop. It's a good enough space for us to do what we want now, but I see us eventually growing out of that space and obtaining our own larger facility to kind of expand these programs, and maybe eventually even have it be throughout the 5 boroughs or nationwide. My ultimate goal and dream is to have it be like a Boys and Girls Club type thing, where we have them in various locations all over.
Well, with the recreational programs that we have, we'd be happy to work and collaborate with them.
Yes,
That'd be
absolutely.
beautiful. So now, with the work and the other side work that you're doing as well, I mean, I know you moved away more from the performing part, but your expansion in artistic wise, I mean, do you have maybe a book coming up or something you want to do that's?
Yeah, well, I have a book that's a sequel to a book that I released about 2 years ago that I'm currently working on. But what will probably come out first is an album that I was supposed to drop years ago, and people keep asking me when this project is gonna come out, because I've been putting out snippets that were supposed to be on it. So I think I'm gonna really focus and kind of put this music project out, and then we'll follow that would probably be the next book.
Okay. Now, does when your artistry, does that reflect? Some people have themes of what they have. Does yours reflect to your youth or what's going on now?
Yeah, typically my poetry and just my art in general deals with like socio-political, economic issues, talking about the things that I went through, and sort of trying to use it as a light for others to kind of navigate their way. You know how they say any fool can learn from his mistakes, but a wise man learns from the mistakes of others. So trying to kind of put the things out there that I've done wrong, and hopefully that can kind of be a gem to somebody else in their life. But yeah, usually anything that I have an issue with, and I think that I can either bring attention to or I can propose a solution to, I do it through art.
So, whether it be art or your spoken words or you in general, what is something that you would tell somebody in, let's say, the youth that's maybe going through a situation where it might cause them to have something on their record?
Yeah, I would say that your mistakes don't define you. A lot of times people get caught up in these situations and they think that it is going to affect their whole lives. I mean, it could in a lot of situations, right? But if they're proactive about that, and especially if they end up lucky enough to find their way to in a program like Exalt that can assist in this, right? And I would say find an outlet, find a creative outlet, find something that you love, that you can be passionate about, and put all your direction into that. Because that's what it took for me to get away from my situation, was for me to find art. And then I could put everything into art. I became good at it, and then I started to get paid for it, you know. And I was moving further and further away from the streets as more as I was putting into that positivity. So as long as you can find something that you're passionate about, that can be an outlet or a distraction from the typical things that you work, because you typically have to find something else, right? You have to replace it with something positive. So I would say search for that. It's not always an easy search, right? You might have to do a little trial and error and be open to try new things. Because I've had students that replaced at internship sites and they thought, I don't want to do this, I'm not into this, and then they get there and they love it. And then now they don't want to leave from the internship, you know? So be open to try new things, because you never know what your calling or what your passion is until you try it.
Yeah, one of the things I tell in my interview process, and one of the things you're gonna have to come face to face is, there's gonna be hardships that's gonna come in, but I do believe that if you're the best person of something in the room, it will be noticed, it will be reflected.
Yes.
And although there's levels of incidents that can happen, if you're the best at something, somebody's gonna snatch you up and grab you.
For sure.
So now, one of the things that I like to try to circle back to is with the parts that you're doing on your own, the Fuego?
El Fugon.
El Fugon.
Yes.
If somebody wanted to reach you and help you, with those programs, how would they go about doing it?
Yeah, you can reach out to me at iHeartFreeArt, as in I love free art, iHeartFreeArt@gmail.com. That's the easiest way to reach out to me, or on any one of our social medias, facebook.com/theartistcollective, or instagram.com/theartistcollective.
And one of the programs you had mentioned there was, I can't remember the one in the class you said something about regarding police officers.
Yeah, Know Your Rights. We do Know Your Rights.
Yes.
Yeah, we do Know Your Rights workshops. I've done various workshops on my own, and we also have partnered with the ACLU to conduct various Know Your Rights workshops as far as dealing with police contact, what police can and can't do, your rights in those situations, when you shouldn't offer information, when they're allowed to frisk you, and all of those various things. Because a lot of times with our youth, they're taken advantage of because they're not aware of their rights, and those can often lead to certain situations that they could easily avoid had they known their rights in the first place.
Now, I've seen them distribute cards, but off the top of my head, I don't remember some of the things that was on it. Would you happen to?
Yeah. It's one, you're not legally required to present an ID unless you're suspected of a crime. The only time you have to present an ID is if you're operating a motor vehicle or boarding a commercial aircraft. A lot of police officers, you have to show me your ID. Well, if I'm not suspected of committing a crime, then I don't have to show you an ID. Another one is pat downs. When they go to pat you down, they're not allowed to go inside your clothing unless they have to conduct a pat down of the outside of the clothing first. And only if they feel something that can be deemed as could be possibly a weapon, then are they allowed to go in. But a lot of times they skip that part and they just go into searching your pockets. That right there is an illegal search. So it's various things like this where simply knowing them can kind of stop these officers in their place with doing these corrupt acts.
And maybe even having the card.
Absolutely. Yeah. That helps for sure.
To go back to Exalt, do you, and obviously there's always HIPAA situations. I don't want to go into too much specific details, but do you have any success stories that you would like to share, maybe with one of the youth that you've?
Oh yeah, yes. We have many success stories. One youth in particular, he came in. He had probably more charges that I've ever seen before. It was a situation that he got involved with the older sibling, kind of influenced him in that way. He got into the program, started doing better in school, to the fact that he was on the honor roll, got into his internship, completely excelled there, and eventually got his case completely dismissed. and then he continued to go on and maintain his honor roll. And this was one of our youngest students. He was 14 at the time, so he's still this was a year and a half ago, so he's probably about 16 now. We have another student that came into the program, one of my most recent cycles. Came into him, was a little shaky at first, didn't know how it was going to play out, kind of had some one-on-ones with him to figure out what his goals were. Throughout the course of the cycle, not only did he was doing an internship, but then also was doing independent projects to have just more work, and was going to school full-time. Was enrolled in Hostos Community College. And then a week before graduation, he was hired for a full-time position at a nonprofit, working 40 hours a week.
Well,
so yeah, we have many of those stories. Yeah.
You know, to circle back for the first participant, going through trouble, with the law, but still maintaining an honor roll. And there's just one thing, that's a misfire in his situation, in his life, and yet he still prevailed. Like, those are some important things and beautiful things that need to be shared. And once again, I like to say thank you to Exalt for all the work that they're doing. Sure. Do you want to throw out any maybe things coming up for you on a personal level? That's
I don't have anything planned. I'm still trying to figure out the like I said, that project that I got. We've been getting a lot of requests to bring our open mic back. So I ran an open mic for about 10 years or so. In 2019, I put it on hold. My grandmother had got sick and she was in hospice. She didn't want to pass in the hospital. She wanted to pass at home. So I kind of went down there for a few months to be with her. When I came back, that's when COVID hit, and then so it kind of so the open mic has been on hiatus for about 3-4 years, and everyone's been asking me to bring it back. So I think I'm going to focus on within the next couple of months trying to bring that back, because a lot of people loved it and they miss it. So I think I'm going to focus on that.
So one more time, if anybody has any wants to be a site location for Exalt, or know of any youth that are maybe going through a tough time through the legal through the justice system, how would they reach?
Yes, you can reach out to me, Ibrahim.Siddiq@exalt.org. Or you can look up Exalt, go to our website, and there are contacts there. If you want to refer a youth, there is a referral section where you can fill out for the youth, and we will have one of our program coordinators reach out to you to enroll the youth in the cycle.
Thank you, Ibrahim, for that. Now, for those that are interested in coming on to the show, feel free to reach out at CEO@DevilDogUSAInc.org. And as always, God bless America.